Now then, people, good evening and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. I hope you are all doing well. You're here with myself and my fellow West Yorkshire brethren, Mr. Ben Lockie Leeds. Make sure you check him out. Hope we're all doing well. Smash the likes up. I know it's the international breaks. And it's the last one. There's that, Lockie. It's the last international break now of the year. So we won't get another one till March. And then it'll just be football, won't it? So I'm excited about that. How are you, mate? Are you doing well?
Yeah, doing good, mate. Went to watch old Ricky Gervais last night, which honestly, I had pains in my belly laughing. It was brilliant.
Is it
good? Yeah, so good. Yeah, so yeah, did something nice to one of my friends for a change because I usually sit in my room all day. So
yeah,
I'm all right
watching
at the moment.
football.
I hate international break though. Mate.
Yeah, it's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah. You as well, are you? You know?
Yeah.
Been away and all that?
Yeah, moving back to Yorkshire, mate. I'm so happy. I went to view a property. I know, yeah. I went to view a property on Tuesday and then found out I found out yesterday. Found out same day. Yeah, they said, it's there. So, I mean, it's a bit of a chew on because it's obviously you've got to pay a bond first month's rent, and then also I've got to move, and I was getting like 400 quid quote and that for removal because it's like 2 hours in it, 2 hours down the road, and then I need a van, and then I need to fill the van and all that, and then pay for the labour. And I was like, oh god, this is going to cost an arm and a leg, but I can't wait, mate, to be honest. I told you that I'm already fucking ready in the fantasy for 6-a-side and that. Yeah, so I can't wait, man. I'm going to be playing in Hippodrome on a Thursday night, I think. Yeah, on a Thursday night.
That's where I used to train.
Yeah.
So take me back. I need to move back to Yorkshire as well, mate, honestly.
Yeah, I can't wait, mate, to be honest. And my mum's fine. For those that are asking in the chat, I picked her up on Monday. She came home. Yeah, I mean, her breathing's still fucked and that, but she's just glad to be out of there. Dan says, hire a van. Yes, this is true, but I wouldn't trust myself driving a big van. I can't lie. But I've been speaking to Jack City bitch, who says he might get involved and give me an hand. So we'll see. Watch this space. Next time you see Jack City or you're watching him, say, make sure you not remove Joe. Make sure you move Joe. Just get into him that way. But listen, there's the life updates from me and Lockie, the life admin. Let's get stuck into some Leeds United news. Obviously, there's it was quite a shock, wasn't it, really? I say shock, like not as in, oh my God, but it came out of the blue. It was a surprise. Greta Steinson, we heard from Nancy and The Athletic to say that he's going to sort of be moving upstairs as more of a 49ers guy as opposed to just Leeds, their football operations. What that means, maybe, I don't know about you, but does that mean they're wanting to acquire more football clubs, Lockie? I don't know, because I just...
That was my initial thought. What other arm does
they
that
don't have
cover
any, do they? Yeah, exactly.
No, so maybe that's looking at the wider plan and seeing if that'd work out, I guess, with him.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So then, and then we got Jordan Miles, didn't we? Which between me and you, I mean, what was no disrespect to Jordan Miles, but what was the point in that appointment? He's not even been here a year. He came in January. No, he didn't even do the January window, did he? It was after the January window. So he came in 1st of Feb. It's now November and he's gone. So I don't understand that appointment and what.
Yeah. Again, it might be the restructuring of it. Maybe it doesn't fit the model of person they're looking for. You know, it could be based on many things. But he's very young, Jordan Miles. He's 34, which is young for a head of recruitment. So I don't know. It's a funny one. It's a funny.
He was never mentioned in anything either. You know, in any articles about us chasing players or all like that. He was never mentioned. So I just don't know if it.
Maybe it could have been. Obviously, you had Steinson in there. You had Hammond. Maybe it was a period to try and see what he could do with them advising him, and maybe they just felt they didn't need him, or maybe someone's better planned to do it. I don't know. Like they've hired Alec Davies, haven't they? Who was chief scout, I believe, before. He's gone into that role. So maybe they feel he's better within the club.
Yeah, they've promoted from within, it would seem. It was also on the square ball. We were just chatting off air. Nick Hammond's hours have reduced. I don't know how, because there's been a lot of talk, and I wanted to do a video on this anyway, so it's sort of like tied in. Like, seen a few people online suggesting that Leeds United will be active, others saying they're not. And I put a poll in the chat just to get what people's thought process is. Like, where does this lead you to January? Because I almost felt in the summer, Lockie, and I said it a few times, it was almost like too many cooks spoiled the broth. It felt like we had too many decision makers. We've gone from one main guy in Victor Orta to then you had Steinson, Hammond, Miles, Farker would have a say, Parag would have a say. And it felt a little, probably Angus as well was involved somewhere along the line. So it almost felt like too many cooks spoiled the broth. And you wonder if maybe after having the summer, they looked and went, oh, yeah, this isn't maybe work. So, like, let's streamline it a little bit. I don't know. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, well, it's weird because the structure that we had it's quite normal. You know, you have a head of recruitment and then they work with the coach and the scouts, and then the head of recruitment goes to the 2 or 3 above them. That's quite normal, but they have to in line with each other, right? That's the key part. There has to be a final decision, and the way in which you work has to be fully understood between everyone. Obviously, we hired a lot of new people very quickly. So maybe it was a matter of they just didn't align right enough. The manager had problems with the players they were recruiting, or the system they used, the model they used to recruit. Or it might have been the other way around. Miles might not have liked the way Leeds did it.
Yeah.
You know, Greta Steinson or Nick Hammond, again, might not have liked the way Miles worked with Farker. There's so many, like you said, there's so many different scenarios that just make it a little confusing. But that's football these days. You know, there's not really a clear model of what works in terms of recruitment. Everywhere is quite different, and everywhere has success and failures. So I guess I think somebody mentioned it there. It's like almost like we're preparing
for the Prem.
Do you think make a bigger cast, a bigger thing? Whether that'll work. I know we're talking before about the way obviously Brighton are going with it using AI. Maybe there's an algorithm or something there.
Because they're quite big on that stuff, aren't they? The 49ers.
Yeah. And we might be tapping into that, and we might not feel we need, you know, that many people in that position when technology could do 2 or 3 of those roles. I don't know. It's speculation, but the fact of the matter is, it's a strange time, I guess, now. Yeah. So what does that mean for January? Honestly, I don't know. You'd assume by this point anyway, what you needed in January is very clear, and maybe they already have that in stone, if that makes sense. So then they can move on with it. But obviously, there'll still be decision makers at the club that'll meet and all that stuff. So that's not a problem. But it's just, I don't know. What do you think about it all? I think it's all a bit strange.
Yeah, like I say, it was a bit of a surprise. The timing is strange. I'm sure the 49ers wouldn't allow such upheaval with a view to January being less than 2 months away now. Like, surely you would hope that there is some sort of plan in place. Maybe there's even targets, because what I don't want, Lockie, I don't know how you feel. I want us to follow Ipswich and Southampton. Like Leicester did no business. They didn't need to, really, if we're being honest. I think by January they still had like a 17-point lead over us, didn't they?
So
they tried. Yeah, they did. They just tried to get that Italian guy, didn't they? They tried to get one in the door. Yeah. But I look to Ipswich and I see Kiefer Moore. I see Sarmiento, who was at another club, by the way. He was at West Brom, wasn't he? They took him from West Brom. Yeah. Kiefer Moore, these signings, you look at Southampton, they got Rothwell, they got Brooks. I would argue if we were to look back at the data, they all played a big part in promotion in terms of goals and assists. You know what I mean? They did. I know Sarmiento did. I know Moore did. I know David Brooks would have. Yeah. So they contributed to them getting over the line. So I know people might not like to hear it, but I would like us to follow that model and not fucking toe the line for once. Actually put our hands in our pockets and push the envelope that little bit further. We have to, man. We have to, I think.
Yeah. I don't like the whole we're happy as we are. We feel like we're all right with what we've got. I understand that, but that's where it comes down to the personality. If you're bringing a player in who you can add to it that you know is not a bad personality. What's the downside of it?
Yeah.
It creates
look at
Gulavogi.
Look at Gulavogi.
Perfect.
I think he's been great.
That's a 34-year-old free agent as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's people out there that can help. And like you said, it'll come to January. I've just got a feeling, Joe, that Sheffield United are going to get a few.
Sheffield United are
going to get a few.
Yep, 100%.
And then if that happens and we don't, and they start winning and they go above us, we look at January and go, right, why didn't we do anything? It might not be glaringly obvious that we clearly need things, but back yourselves up, help yourselves out. Just get a striker. Look, well, I'm not saying just get a striker, obviously, get the right person, is what I'm saying. But if you have the right target that and again, financially can get, we still don't know about that, do we? That's just a confusion thing. But if you need a 10 and you've got the right target, go all out to get that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, look, the player might not come in straight away, but the player knows full well if he helps Leeds get to the Premier League, he's in the Premier League next season. This is the attraction we have. You know, and I just know for a fact Burnley and Sheffield United will do it. Maybe even
they will. This is the thing.
Let's not get left behind.
We never do it, bro. We never do it.
I get. We
always do it cheap.
I get we're happy with the club and the squad. We all are. We like the squad, but there's no bad thing in getting one or two in positions that are fairly short in for me.
Yeah,
I don't think that's bad at all.
No,
like you said, what's Brooks doing now? Is he playing? You know?
Yeah. No, true.
A lone player there.
Yeah. Someone mentioned it to me, and we mocked him for it. But Wendy is still not playing. He's not though, is he?
I think he's got an ego.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
These players, they'll be I might have a look after this actually. Players in the Prem that are not playing.
Yeah.
Brooks came to mind because you mentioned him. I don't think he's playing too much.
Yeah.
I mean, telling me he couldn't chip in with a few big moments in the second half of this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do it. We got a free agent in because we needed to, and look at him. We all love him. He's brilliant. There'll be a few loans out there, Joe. I'm not saying we have to spend 10 million on a player. Get a few loans. We've got a few spots. Use them. You know?
Yeah.
Don't take a risk. It's no need.
No, exactly. That's a key point. There's some takes in here, like Liam Moore says, Red Bull are taking over. Just watch. Tom says Klopp is running the show now. Do you think you're going to see any impact from Jurgen Klopp? I rubbished it. I don't. No, I think see it.
It'll just be a good name.
Yeah.
On the phone to have a chat to if we need to. His experience, to be honest.
Yeah. McAtee on loan and a forward. Says Matt Davis. I don't think he's played for City for a while. You know.
Is he not?
No, he hasn't.
No, that's
he did in pre-season, mate, but he hasn't been involved, and they're riddled with injuries at the minute, and he's still not been getting game time. So no, I wouldn't have said so. Joe, what players can we bring in that we can't get a better player in the Prem? Keep the money and go nuts. No, Sean, I don't subscribe to that because I've just mentioned to you there all them players that them other teams got, and they're in the Prem now. Them players out with them still. They're still in the Championship. Moore's still there. Sarmiento's at Burnley. Moore's at bloody Sheffield United. We've got Rothwell. Brooks isn't playing. So my point is, like, you can borrow them. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to go, let's not do it. Because I still believe, Lockie, I don't know about you, but had we have added to this squad in January last time, we probably still might have gone up. But they were done. We had no options, really, in the end. It was the same 11. Boom.
Yeah, very comfortable with what we got.
Yeah.
I get it, but when everyone else around you is improving little by little, keep up. Do you know what I mean? Just do yourself a favour. But again, look, I don't know financially if we could. I'm assuming a loan or two can't do too much damage.
Oh, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
No. They can't.
We swallowed our pride. We went and got a free agent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There is.
You know? Which I didn't think Leeds United would do ever, bro. Yeah. Like when that happened and they were talking about that, we don't do that. Like we don't do the right thing. We don't do the smart thing. But yeah, and to say, can we afford it? I still look, and it'll all come out. Let's not forget what they sold in the summer. We sold a hell of a lot of players and bought next to nothing. And I'm not saying they should have spent that because you get players like Tanaka for next to nothing. But my point is, there's still money sloshing about. 100% there is. Because you sold Gray, Somerville, Rutter. Who else was there? Bloody Llorente, Creswell, every man and his dog. We got rid of a lot in the summer. So
that's it, mate. And again, we're not saying spend 10, 15 million.
No, exactly.
Surely you've got a few million there or even a loan that you can just get 1 or 2 players. And again, I think Boba might leave.
I was going to mention there, Gelhardt as well. Gelhardt will want to go.
Yeah. Like, that's what I mean. We just want to, even if Parag said, didn't he wants to toe that line between financial fair play. He wants to toe it. Surely then, you're looking at this squad now, there's 1 or 2 deals you can do in there just to make that squad a little better. That might get you a little closer to that line, but that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want to toe it. Because the teams around us, I guarantee it now, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm guarantee it now, the teams around us will do it.
Of course they will, mate. Burnley definitely will.
Yeah.
Burnley definitely will. I'd be worried if Burnley sacked Parker, to be honest, because they've got a really good squad. They just play shocking football, really bad football, mate. So, someone's just asked that. Look, in terms of how much we brought in, it was the most in Europe, wasn't it? I swear.
Yeah, I think so.
Weren't we top of that league for the most sales? Because we got 55 it'd have been 65 for Somerville and Rutter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Rutter went for
40
and Somerville 25, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. And then we had Gray sold as well, and then you had all the little ones on there as well. So, do you know, in terms of profile as well, I still think the 2 positions that we spoke about that we would have liked at the end of the window with the 10 and the 9 could still be an option. I don't think they'll get a 9 though, but a creative 10 definitely so. Do you think that would be what you want?
Yeah, now that Perot's a 9 out and out in this team, we know that's where he's played all season. We're now looking at a position where we only have 1 number 10. Whereas before we had a few. Now we only have 1. We've lost Rutter. Perot is now a 9 for Leeds. I think that's fairly certain. Thacker's give up on him at the 10. He plays him as a 9 now. So we only have Aronson there. And there's games and situations where I'm thinking we need something a little different in there. Aronson can't play 46 games this season in that role.
No, he
That's
can't.
Not fair on him. Everyone needs a bit of rotation. And I'm just looking at the profile, whether it's a really technical passer who can find those angles and passes in that final third just to make everything a little cleaner, because I think our guys are a little rushed, or a big physical 10 that Farker loves. And you had them at Norwich, Borussia Mönchengladbach, big physical guys that can play along the striker and attack the back line. You're telling me there's not a cheap player out there that can just help, just be an option, do you know what I mean? Bringing him on and, just stuff like that. Because it's all...
Even you've got Buonanotte at Leicester, right? And I know he's in the Prem, but my point is he's nowhere close to getting a look in at Brighton, and Leicester fans are raving about him. So there's players out there, isn't there, that would still be class for Leeds United in the Championship.
And this is it, mate. Just do, and they might, and I hope they do, because the last conversation I want to have is why we didn't buy in January. I don't want that.
No.
We've got injuries as well.
I hate that. It's a difficult market to operate in. That does me head in. Every club says that, but it might be true, but
everything's inflated and all that. I understand.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There'll be more loan options as well, because there'll be a lot of players that are not wanted. I know Farker mentioned ideally you want players that have been playing, but this player, we're not buying him because we're desperate. We're buying him because it will bolster the squad. He doesn't have to come in and play every game. It's an option. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, Sarmiento. I remember saying Sarmiento would be brilliant
at the time for us.
Bring him on. Yeah, it'd be an option. It'd be class, but we didn't, and we stuck with what we got. It became a little predictable, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We definitely did, mate. And it was poor. Mark says, with these recruitment guys leaving, do you think this will give Farker more say on transfers? What do you reckon to that? Because it was clear to me, Lockie, at the end of the window. Some people will say it's excuses or whatever, but ultimately he wasn't happy. He did want a 10. He did throw the gauntlet down when he mentioned, I told them we needed to be looking for replacements for Rutter back in January. Remember all this?
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't happy. So maybe, Matt, that could have something to do with it as well in terms of like streamlining process. Someone mentioned, could it be for PSR? I'm not sure that it's a recruitment team. Would they class as PSR calculations? I wouldn't have thought so. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I don't think so. But Farker did a presser. I remember at the end of the window when he was talking about it, about profiles that You know, he would have liked a big physical player up there. He said that. He said he likes Aronson, but we need a big physical player after losing Rutter. And I agree with him. And this is based on the history of the manager and what he's had in that position. Like I said, Buendia was a winger for him, not a 10. His 10s were big physical players. Aronson is not. He's a good player in his own right. That's fair to say, but he's not a physical presence. The manager wants what suits his system and what he understands well. And we've not got that. We had Rutter last year. You know, he's had Stuyperman in there. He's had Vrancic in there. He's had Plea at Borussia Mönchengladbach and Thuram at Borussia Mönchengladbach. Like, those are completely different profiles to Brendan Aronson. Do you know what I mean? And this is the point that you made before, Joe, about being a bit streamlined. At the end of the day, for me anyway, the recruitment team should get exactly what the coach wants. I know this is the problem where you have people above him that say, no, but if you get this type of player, At the end of the day, you should get the players that the coach wants. No discussion. You can suggest maybe this one or that one, but it's the coach's decision at the end of the day. The players he wants should come to the club. The profiles he needs should come to the club. Otherwise, you're not backing him fully.
No, exactly.
You know, you can spend a lot of money on a player, but if he's not the player the coach wants, and it's a player that the director of football wants, the coach might not want the player. Do you know what I mean? So
no, exactly. You're right. Tom says Gelhardt is cooked. Gelhardt needs to be allowed to go play football. I don't think it's going to work out at Leeds United, which is such a shame because obviously when he came through, there was talk of him being the next Rooney. And let's be honest, there was a lot of clubs that he could have had the option to go to as well. We weren't the only ones there. And obviously it's just not worked out, has it, mate?
Yeah. You know what you should do? Honestly, go to Lincoln. I know he's apparently on high wages, and I say that because Scubala's there in League One. And they're doing well. They're in the top 6 in League One, pushing for promotion under Scubala, where he was with 21s for a little bit. Like, do you know what I mean? That'd be a good move for him, but it's just swallowing that pride and dropping a league.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
But he needs to play football now. He's what, 20? How old is he? 22 now? 23?
Yeah, he's getting on. Well, I say getting on. I was just about to say he's getting on. My God. Yeah, but in footballing terms.
Even Sonny Perkins scored 3 and 3 now for Leyton Orient.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Started.
Might have finally figured it out that he's talented and he needs to put his head down or whatever he sorted out, whatever problems he may have had. But I think God, please no. I think Gelhardt needs to do the same thing for him. You know, I wish it had worked for Leeds. I really do. And the moments, the memories he gave us in the Premier League, you know, the 1 or 2 moments he had were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right now, please go play because I like him. He's a good lad and he needs to go play a bit of footy.
Yeah, agreed. And I think this is far unfair, Thomas, because he was brought in to play alongside Ross Stewart at the time at Sunderland, and then Ross Stewart got injured and they were expecting Gelhardt to be the lone front man. Well, he's not that, and he's never been that, has he? You know, so I think it's unfair to judge him on that. That could have had a, real dent to his confidence because Sunderland were pushing for the top 6 at the time. And, I live in Sunderland and a lot of them, he's rubbish, he's shit, and he'll have been hearing these things. So it probably weren't, it was the right move, but it came at the wrong time with Stewart getting injured and stuff as well.
So there's no harm in him dropping a league.
No,
there really isn't.
No,
because he could be back in the. Look at Leif Davis, man. Have a word with him. He left the Premier League team and go to League One. Now look at him.
Playing in the Prem, scoring volleys, getting assists and that.
There's no bad thing. He's still young. Go down to League One if he has to play. Learn who you are as a player.
Exactly. There is some good news doing the rounds. I don't know if you've seen this yet. On a certain footballer's Instagram, Mr. Largi Ramazani. So, cryptic. Well, it's hardly cryptic, is it? He's basically saying, because if you remember, he sort of announced his injury, didn't he? Saying, I'll be back soon on his Instagram story. And then we've seen him there with his football boots on, which means if he's already on the pitch, it's the 13th of November. We don't play for another, 11 days or so. You would hope that he might be in contention for when we return back.
When did he get injured, Joe?
What game was it? I can't even remember.
Watford won it.
Watford. Watford. He scored, didn't he? And then got injured not long after.
What? So that's what? Because it's 4 to 6 weeks. So
I'll tell you when that game was. Let's have a look.
In 13 days' time, 12 days' time, can it?
That was the 22nd of October. So 1, 2,
Fourth.
3, 4. Yeah. So it'd be 4 and a bit weeks. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. So we're in that bracket now. So, mate, honestly, we've missed him.
I know.
I can't lie.
How does it? Does he just come straight back in on the left, Nonto back on the right, Aronson in the 10? Yeah. I think that's what.
When he's fit enough to play 90, obviously, to start. But yeah, for me, look, I know we've been big on Solomon and that, but he's not kicked on. Enough to take Largy out of the team. Not even
no.
Thing, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Largy comes back in. Once he's ready to play 90 minutes, he starts for us, and we love him absolute force. He was brilliant.
Different gravy, wasn't he? He was different gravy.
And
I was so impressed.
Some player that played in the league last year got relegated with his team. You know what I mean? Who'd have thought? I didn't know much about him. What a joy to watch him.
Yeah.
There's people out there, that you might not know of who can do a thing for you. Him and Tanaka are absolutely tearing it. And,
It's true. It's true. And Ampadu available? No, Ampadu not for a long time yet. Although he's saying his rehab's going well on that, but it won't be to. Do you think Ampadu will be next year? I think
it'll be end of January till he's fit.
Yeah, 2025, won't it?
Yeah, he'll take 4 weeks to get to match fitness. And then he's got to be sharp. It could be end of January, Feb.
Yeah.
And Gruev, I don't think he'll play much this season at all.
I don't think we'll see him, to be honest. I don't think they'll bother rushing him because we've now got. You'll have Ampadu, Rothwell, Tanaka, and we've seen how good they've been. And you've also got Gulavogi doing the rounds as well.
Yeah.
So did you see, actually, because this has just reminded me, I have to share this. Did you see the championship midfielders for progressive actions?
Oh, yes.
Did you see the graphic?
Yeah.
And about Tanaka being an absolute monster, like just far and above, better than anybody else in the champ for his position. But what really, really impressed me, I mean, maybe you can explain this and I'll say what I think is going on.
Yeah,
let's have a look. Let me just share this for those that haven't seen it. I wonder if I can make it bigger. There we go. Perfect. So it's in terms of along the bottom right is defensive output. Yeah. And then at the top, what is it? X and Y axis in it? X and Y. I think that's how a graph works. Yeah. And that's progressive actions per 90 up. So you can see, for example, like can you see my mouse? Yeah, you can. Look, there's Rothwell. So very progressive, but maybe not so great defensively. Whereas Tanaka, he's great defensively and also great progressor of the ball. So just stands far and away above everybody else.
That,
but what really got me excited, mate, being a Gruev stan, was Ilya Gruev over here. Over the threshold for progressive passes and progression with the ball. And also great defensively as well. So that it was good. It's impressive, isn't it? Because people told me he don't do that, you see. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so what's that? 6 progressive actions per 90 on average. Pretty decent for someone that can't do it. Exactly. A ball winner as well. He's one of the best for ball winners in the league, which we knew anyway, didn't we? Because he's very good at that.
Did.
But he also showed there, look, whether it's natural or not, he can do a little bit of progression if he needs to.
Of course.
Like I think the thing with Rothwell is, he's a through running, aren't they? But Tanaka's a through passing, so it's easier to pass it further distance, and you know what I mean, than drive.
Yeah, of course.
But it's good to see him all there. Ampadu's obviously, we know he'd be around there, wouldn't he? Ball winner.
Do you know what though? And someone made this point. They actually mentioned how maybe that's why, because the point is, Gruev and Ampadu here are very close. Yeah. Obviously, Gruev was tasked with progressing the ball in the 8. Ampadu stays back. But if we compare that with how progressive them two are, you can sort of see why people had the complaints with these two as a midfielders. Oh, it don't progress enough. Whereas if you compare them two, so is it a case, Lockie, of having one of each? Do you know what I mean? Like a Tanaka and an Ampadu. But even still, though, these two have been great. But do you think that's the plan, is to have someone who's more apt at winning the ball, and then having someone like Tanaka who's then gonna progress it. But
has my camera gone off?
It has, mate. Yeah, I can see your Elgato logo.
No idea why that's happened. But anyway, I'll speak and then I'll fix it.
Yes, yes.
I don't know why that's gone on. The light's still on. But yeah, because you can see there with Rothwell, although progressive obviously is brilliant, you can see he's not as close to the defensive side of the chart as probably Farke would want. And that's probably what he talks about when he mentions it. Whereas Ampadu and Gruev are right up there with ball winners. Probably not as high as Tanaka in terms of progression. So yeah, you can see Ampadu, Gruev there, very close, like you said, very similar in progressive, whereas Tanaka is an absolute joke. So yeah, I think the ideal balance, especially when one's a bit deeper, is one that is not as high up, and then one like Tanaka who's absolute joke on him. Like this guy came from Bundesliga 2, and people told us that that's a terrible league, and he won't be good. What a shock! It's about the profile of the player, not about the league they're in. Everyone deserves a chance, and he's got his. And honestly, mate, we need to get promoted to keep him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we do for sure. It's quite interesting to see Kenny McLean so high up as well. He was getting a lot of praise in the comments because Norwich fans are big on him, but it was a player that we were linked with, and you can sort of see why that Farke would have liked someone like that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's. I'm trying to find.
You can see there, can't you? Exactly what the manager is right next to Ampadu and Tanaka McLean. So you can see why he wanted him. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just loved it. I loved it. Being a Gruev stan, I was like, get in there, Ilya. So next time, 100%, man. Next time someone griefs it, I'll be like, get in the bin. The numbers say different. It is wild how much data there is available now. It's crazy. For a numpty like me, and I see stuff and I'm like, oh, wow, that's really interesting. I could use that. You know what I mean?
It's good that data is accessible these days.
Yeah.
To people that don't work in the space or are part of that thing. It's good. It's just sometimes it can be interpreted wrong. And that's always my thing with data. It's like anything. If I try to drive a car, I know the basics of it, but I don't put them on a road or I'll crash. Do you know what I mean? It's about understanding how to use something properly. Everything can be kind of molded to your own biases and stuff like that. So
I love this. Oliver said Lockie's watching his young prodigy bloom. Is that me? Am I the prodigy? Yeah. Steve says I asked an ITK on Monday who said Farke has won no power struggle, and then director of football will likely be appointed in the summer, who will have the final say on everything in the football department. What do you reckon then? Because let's say we do go with a director of football, which a lot of people do. And what we've had before with Victor, but I thought the whole point was to come away from that. That because they didn't want one sole man making the decision, and now we're saying that the football club might go back to that, which I get, but like, which is it? Because 1 minute, do you know what I mean?
I think the issue with Victor was he wanted too much control. A director of football can have control, but it's down to the person to use that power in the right way, not the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
And I think Victor lost his way with that, and we've seen it at other clubs as well that's the case.
100%.
There's a lot of, the best.
Which do you think works the best?
I think the director of football works.
Same. I was going to say, because
as long as they work with the manager in the right way, and getting what he wants and not what they want, which might have been an issue with Victor as well at times. Get the manager what he wants and work with the staff, the recruitment team, to get the right players. A director of football's fine if they're a good director of football. Some people are not good at their jobs. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I would go with director of football, just because if you give the manager too much, and you can look at Man United for this, they bought all Ten Hag's Ajax players. Now Ruben Amorim has got to come in there and work with a squad that's fucking heavily Ten Hag's. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think, and listen, of course it's his squad, but whenever you get a manager in, but if you have a director of football, at least, like, look at Brighton. Brighton are the perfect example, because they just go and pluck a manager and say, you don't have no say. Like, we're going to give you the players and you have to work with it. And then that director of football and that management team ensures that they get the right profile style of manager that'll suit their plan as a football club. That's what you want, isn't it?
that's the balance for the manager. You get the manager what he wants, and what I mean by that is the right profile, right? Not I want this player, get me in. They'll be like, no, what profile of player do you want? We will look at all the best solutions around the world or wherever you're scouting are, wherever you are. We'll find the best solutions in each league, each country, for the right price that we think we can get in that position, and then we'll have a discussion with you about which one we're going to get. That's usually, I think, as a basis how it works.
Yeah,
and then within that as well, there'll be youth products that nothing to do with the manager, but are there for the club and, can develop. So it's just about working together, Joe. You can have a director of football and it can be really bad if they don't work with a manager. You can have one and it can be really good if they work with a manager. It's all about relationships with the entire recruitment team. It's important, and it's probably one of the biggest things in football recruitment now. It's massive. It's all because obviously all the data we have. So yeah, if we do go that route, it's got to be the right person. It's got to be the right person.
Yeah.
Because
obviously,
footballs can destroy clubs.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. I don't know. I don't know. The only ones I know, the ones like that are in England that were sought after. You've had that. What's the guy who was at Brighton who then went to Newcastle and then went to Man United? What's his name? Dan Ashworth. Dan Ashworth, obviously, and so that's the only one I know. Omar Barada. Is he another one? Tichi Banner. I can't remember it. The guy at City with Pep. I forgot his name. Yeah.
There's a guy in. I'll say, like the German model is very, very good. I love the German model, and it creates a lot of good directors. Obviously, they work with the fans and the club very close. It works very well. They're usually decent personalities. There's a guy there for Frankfurt, their director of football. I can't remember his name, but he worked at Red Bull when he was younger as their kind of head of strategy and all that. And now works at Frankfurt, who are doing ridiculously well. Obviously, I think they want Rasmus, don't they? So maybe not perfect,
maybe
but
not him. Yeah,
but yeah, he's very good. There's people like that obviously in foreign countries that you're looking at. But yeah, I don't know. There'll be names. There's loads of good ones out there. Even in the lower leagues of England, loads of guys doing really good jobs, getting players and selling them on for more a year later.
Peterborough always do well, don't they?
Peterborough do well, yeah.
Posh.
Yeah.
Brentford used to be as well, but obviously they're Prem now.
Yeah, they're up there. What Peterborough have done really well is they've created a platform, and they've said, look, we're a feeder club and we're all right with that. So you come to us, we'll play you, you'll go straight up. And it's happened to players every year. They send 2 or 3 to Championship or Premier League. And that's why the players that want to go trust that club. So that's the important thing as well.
Yeah. Like Telly says here, revealed today that Nick Hammond will be slowly phased out. That's defo not good news. He saved our bacon the summer after relegation. I don't know how much
he was a consultant, right?
Yeah, he was. And I think Greta Steinson, from what I believe, and again, I don't know, but I think with the deals that we got done, I would lean more towards it being Greta Steinson. And the fact he's sort of getting a promotion sort of tells you that, maybe, because we did a lot of business with Spurs. We got Ampadu in, I know that's not Spurs, but we get Rodon, we get Spence.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I feel like Hammond was there to
sort of
oversee and control.
Oversee,
Maybe do what he did now and analyse.
Yeah, because he was involved at Newcastle, weren't he, when they came in at first? And he was like Tom said, he's a fixer, sort of oversee it. This is how it should look, right? I'm going to step back now. You now know what the model should look like, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
And obviously with the new owners, coming from America, just really getting them to understand the way it works.
Yeah.
He is very good at his job. I mean, look at the last few years where he's been. He's done a very good job at each thing. So I don't know if it's a bad thing that he's phasing out. Maybe that means there is an idea and there's more of a control there. We know the structure.
Yeah.
Potentially, I don't know.
But
we'll see.
I did see this as well, mate, which I loved as well.
Go on.
International break update. This was by B. Griffiths. It was Championship metrics after so many games. I don't know if you saw this because I put hashtag best team in the league, right? Just a little bit of funny thing I've got going on the old social media, but it really does show just how well Leeds United have been doing, because if you look at Leeds United in third position here, they're basically in the top 3 for every single like decent metric that you would want. So for possession in the league, they're first. Passes in opposition half, first. Field tilt, which again I still don't know what that means. Maybe do you know what field tilt?
Momentum, maybe.
Is it okay?
You know how high we had the pitch. I don't. That's an American term, I think.
I remember. I do remember a lot of Arsenal fans on their thing kicking off about it because someone. I don't know if a content creator had said like we'd won the field tilt or something, and then it were like, what? Yeah, I remember that. Own third losses, 10th. So again, that you don't want to be first for that metric, do you? PPDA, which is that high recoveries? Is it?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah,
I think it's the intensity of the high recoveries.
Oh, sorry, no, passes per defensive action. Passes per defensive action was second. High recoveries is third. XG second. Shots first. XG conceded first, and shots conceded first. So, and what really stood out to me is Sunderland, because look how many are in the sort of amber red, i.e. is their current league position, does it have longevity, really? Because for shots conceded, 8th, for example, shots 13th in the league. You know, if we look at passes per defensive action, that's pretty poor. You know, the possession's 18th in the league. So you would hope that it's a bit like XG in it. Like in terms of over the course, the more games you play, eventually it's gonna, go to the mean, if you like. And you can see that Leeds United are consistently doing the best in the league. Yeah. The majority, so therefore, you would hope that we're going to be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, and I was looking at FBref as well. I was trying to figure out, well, what's the problem here then? Do you know what I mean? What's going on? And I put them in the chat, and you look at all the conversion stats, the shots on target stats. We've got the most shots on target, we have the most shots, but the problem is the conversion of shots to goals. That's the issue. I think we're around 9th or 10th in the league. Okay. So you're looking at everything and you're thinking about we're dominating. Right, it's the last bit then.
Yeah, it's the finishing bit,
because we're creating the most shots. I think we're second in chances creation, and all the creation behind Middlesbrough create loads. They're a good team then. Passes into the box as well, passing the final third. I believe we're first and second for all of them.
Yeah,
it's just the conversion stats that are they're the ones that are letting us down. All the data suggests everything's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, by the way, does make, I guess, a boring game at times because you're dominant in every way, shape, or form. But it's just the conversion bit, mate. And that's the bit that, at the end of the day, that's the bit that matters.
We need a killer.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh, we need Joe Pro to
get really on the end of things more. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem, innit? He's normally not the one getting on the end of the chances. Do you know what I mean? Like, he does when the game opens up, but like in the early exchanges, let's say, like how many times does it drop to Aronson? Does it drop to Nonto? Does it drop to James? Whereas if it drops to Pirro, it's in the back of the net. And when he gets involved in build-up, by the time it makes the box, he's not on the end of the chances. He's still arriving. Do you know what I mean? So, like Joe Wood says, it feels like we've always struggled with conversion rate. We did under Bielsa. We did under Bielsa, 100%. Like,
I remember Bamford. That. Every game. Why would that?
Even when he got 17, he probably should have got 30. Do you know what I mean? That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It only seemed in that team. It only really seemed like Pablo was the one who could finish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was the one in that team. Yeah. Just shoot from 35 yards and it'd go in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is a thing. Yeah. It's weird that I imagine a lot of teams feel the same way though, but we have more chances than anyone in every game. More shots on target, and I think we're second in terms of goals scored this season, first or second. And we should be more based on the amount we have. We really should.
And I think this is really impressive as well, Lockie, because we're the only team that's in every single one. You know what I mean? Like in terms of most goals scored, we're there. We're in the top 3. highest XG for in the top 3, average possession, fewest goals against, and lowest XGs against. We're the only team that shows up in all of them, which again comes back to the conversation of like over the course of the season, if Leeds United maintain this, then they have to win the league. They must win the league because everything's telling us, and I know games aren't won on paper, but everything's saying, well, if this continues, and if you say that, you know, we've played a quarter of the season, let's say it does continue for the rest of it, then you would hope that, or you would think, you have every reason to be confident as a fan. You know what I mean? I think
that's it. Like, you know, you get called arrogant and stuff, don't you, for being overly confident, but you're confident on what you're watching. You know, like the conversation is, and we're not being confident because we're really excited necessarily. We're being confident because we are dominating. And there's a difference again between dominating a game and being excited. They don't necessarily work together, really. But when you're watching every game and you're going, we're just battering me, we just can't score. Gosh, you're going to be confident. But there's always that worry that it's the end bit that matters at the end of the day. You know, we could have all these amazing stats, but concede 2 or 3 a game. You know, luckily we don't have that this year, and we've had that problem for many years. And at Leeds United, we'd have to kind of win 4-3 to win a game. Now we could probably win most games this season 1-0 because we don't give up any chances. Which again is boring, but it's blooming effective and impressive to me. For a team that don't concede like we do, it's really impressive. I think I showed you the numbers, didn't I? I think we had 6 expected goals against this season. 6.
Which
I'm pretty sure Sheffield United, if you take penalties away from it for us, if you take penalties away from it, we're on, I think 9. If you take penalties away from it, we're on 6. And they're on 11.
I did message my mate after watching Sheffield United against Wednesday. I said us 2 will go up because we're just too good defensively.
I think so.
I think Leeds United and Sheffield United are just too good. They control games, you know. They just the level of play is better. Burnley could do so much more, but they just Burnley, go on, sorry mate.
I said Burnley don't do enough in games to create loads of chances. And you could argue maybe Sheffield United don't create the most. They've just got really good players that take their chances. Burnley, that's why Burnley are drawing a lot in the most recent weeks, you know, or they're winning in the last minute to a terrible penalty decision. But I still have no idea what went on. You know, we're dominating. That's the difference between us and Burnley. Burnley are boring, but I wouldn't say they're dominating. We are dominating. We're dominating the games.
Exactly.
Sheffield United, for the most part, I don't think they're as dominant as us, but they are predominantly dominating, and they create good chances as well. They create chances right in the middle. So, yeah, I agree. Sunderland are one to watch. They're an interesting team to watch. You know, Labree's a good coach. He's done good in his short career so far as a coach. So I'll be interested to see what happens with them because we don't really know. They create a lot. You know, to press high, but defensively they let chances in. Right. Same for Middlesbrough. They create a load of chances, but they also let chances in. We let nothing in and don't create as much in terms of goals, even though we're still creating chances. Yeah, I'm waffling, but we need to be more consistent in front of goal, Joe, to be honest.
100%, mate. We do. And I think that's what it comes down to. And I think, like you know, to be fair, obviously, as I've said, games aren't won on paper, but it's great to see, for me anyway, for a fan who's quite relaxed, who's not been, you know, ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah, it has been boring at times. Bristol City wasn't great. West Brom was worse. Even the 2-0 win against QPR, I said, even when I slept on it, I thought I still felt bored. I know there's a lad who I think it's called Away Days or something, a Leeds fan. Not Away Days. No, Derby Days. Right. Not Derby Days. Away Days is, Ellis, of course. Derby Days, and he's been clipped up on Twitter, which I never jump on, but he said it's been boring to watch, and he's getting a lot of grief. Oh, if you think this is boring, whatever. It's social media, is what it is. But I think a lot of people have echoed, and people in the chat say it is a little bit, it can be boring. But and it's not swashbuckling and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, playing this way, as you said, yeah, it might be a bit rough at times, but I do think when you touched on Middlesbrough, and I do think they're one to watch, and we've got them in a few weeks, and I think it will be a tough game. But there was that game not too long ago against Luton where they just clicked and they slapped them. It was like 4-1 won it, I think.
Yeah.
I think that will happen for Leeds in some games as well at some point. You talk there about conversion rate. This is, I guess, for those that are very critical, and there's some in the chat tonight that still don't think it's good enough and all that, and that's fine. But in every game, bar a couple, Leeds should have had more goals, and I think that's why it's good to look at the underlying numbers, because you can say, do you know what? All right, yeah, we didn't win that game, we haven't won that game, could it? But when it clicks, and if we are continuously performing at the top of the majority of the best metrics, then over the course of the season, you're going to be fine, folks. And I guess that's why I liked seeing them graphics. Yeah. And of course, some won't take it, but it is, it is what it is.
They're there to just show what it is. Whether you like that or not, that's down to your preference. That's, you know what I mean? But that shows what that shows. And I think as well, look, football's all about what you enjoy. It's up to you. I've said this a lot recently. It's up to you if you like it or not. I'm not going to dispute that, but I will dispute if you're saying it's bad. It isn't. It's very good. It's just not exciting all the time. Sometimes I think it is. I think it's slightly over-exaggerated at times, to be honest. But it can be. It can be slow because you're so dominant. Yeah. I said this, Joe, like, that's football right now. Honestly, for work, I watch so much. And honestly, most games are boring.
Yeah.
Football is changing a lot because we're in a situation now, and it's actually a really exciting time for football, or it will be, where you're looking at teams like possession-based teams, dominant like Pep Guardiola sides, and there's loads out there that are really struggling because there's young managers coming in. We're playing a completely different way. That your possession-based football is kind of nullified now. You look at Brighton and Hursley, look at them in the Premier League. He's 31 years old, so he's just retired playing football. They play without a midfield, Joe, Brighton. They play one midfielder really deep, and the rest just play up front with the two centre-backs. And they rotate. It's crazy. Like, football's changing. And these possession-based managers now have kind of been found out. There's kind of a method to beat them now, whereas they weren't 5 or 6 years ago. They were dominant, you know what I mean? So they have to adapt now for me. And obviously, at this level right now, the Championship hasn't found that for us.
No.
But that's when we go to the Premier League. If Daniel Farke tries to play this dominant possession-based football, look at Martin. Yeah, look at people like that. There's going to be a struggle because teams know how to set up now. There's more data there. Do you know what I mean? Teams know. And we're in a situation now in football where there's an adaptation now. Like there was when Pep came in 15, 20 years ago, when Pep was growing up, came through the ranks. His football now has been countered. And it's about the next generation and how these old guys now, or these experienced guys, adapt. You look at Allardyce and all them lot, I would call them dinosaurs. Honestly,
they couldn't adapt
before Pep gets that title if you don't adapt.
Yeah, 100%. I hear you.
It's interesting. This is.
Well, look at Mourinho. What a fall from grace Mourinho was. Like, he came over to England. I am not one of the bottle. I'm a special one, and he won it all. And he was. But now everyone goes, nah. No good. He ended up going to Spurs, which felt like a bit of a drop off for him anyway. And now he's in Turkey, and it's like, and he's begging for a job at the bottom end of the Premier League. So you are right, though. You are right. Managers, styles and all that. Like, let's be honest. Like back in the 90s, it was 4-4 fecking 2, and that was your lot. And a winger hugged the touchline. He had some tricks. He got past his man, and he crossed the ball. Do you know what I mean? Whereas. You look at someone like Jack Grealish now, he's always expected to just recycle the ball, keep the ball, play it back in. Exactly. It's different, man. Football changes, like you say.
And that's why I love the sport. It changes so much.
Yeah.
And I think we are at a transition now because all these coaches who came in, like played under Peps and the Klopps, and there's loads of names out there, just naming the ones people might know. But they're all becoming managers now. So they've integrated the ideas they brought with them and their own. Yeah. They're creating these new types of football, which is interesting. Like Hurtsler, I don't know if you've watched Brighton, but it's crazy what they do. Honestly, there's like 6 or 7 along the back line of whoever they played against, and they just all rotate and move. But it's a new way, and in 10 years, everyone will be playing like that, and there'll be a new way to play. It's good. I'm enjoying it.
It is. I did put a poll out, folks, at the start of the show. If you could like the video as well, please. It says, is the recruitment shake-up good or bad news for the January transfer window? 69% say it's good, 31% bad. Where do you stand on it, mate? Because we genuinely, there hasn't even been more come out from the club about what it actually means either. We've just been told, haven't we? There's not, anything. But do you think it's good or bad?
I'd like to think that they've already got the potential targets. We're not that far away from it now, a month. So honestly, I think it'll be all right. I don't think we'll be put in a situation where the club would change it now if they didn't. I'd hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'd hope not.
Yeah.
That'd be a bad decision. So I think it's fine, mate, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, hey, time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell, exactly. Time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Swansea when we get back, but that's not for a while yet, folks. So we'll touch on that as we go on. Have you got anything going during the internet? And thank you for coming on tonight as well, Lockie. No, have you got anything planned for the international break, or are you just taking some time?
No, I did a video this morning, which I did 4 hours of research for it to get the clips and put them together and edit them. I recorded it, Joe, and it was a 30-minute video, and the sound didn't work, so I had to redo it. So people, please go watch that. It's about Monto. It's about how we can get him to fit into the team more. It's a bit of a longer one, but like you say, it's international. I need, get them.
Yeah, and if you enjoy doing it, mate, that's the main thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's
I've got that. I'll think of some stuff to do in the next week or so.
Get your requests in and Lockie's comments, folks. If there's anything specific you want to see, do that. And I'm sure he'll have a look. Tomorrow I've got the White Rose Rivals is back after a 2-week hiatus. We're going to do a bit of a season review so far, see where we're at. And then at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be with Benjamin Bloom, obviously doing a championship review because we can get his opinion on what the current standings are. So, yeah, we do that every international break. So, sorry, mate. I'm yawning now. Yeah, we'll get stuck into that. But listen, folks, thank you all for tuning in. I've got some other ideas in mind as well, which we'll do during the international break.
People have been asking last few weeks, a few in chat about scout reports coming back as well, Joe, for January.
Yes, we will definitely. I love them shows. We will get it back. Hopefully, Andrea's stopped.
We won't sign anyone. But
yeah.
We'll do them anyway.
Hopefully, Andrea's going to stop watching that sport with the orange ball that they bounce around. Maybe one day. Sean's quick come with a super chat. He says, "Would you take Jose Mourinho for his shit out?" I already know the answer to this to Lockie. Is I think we both would.
Andrea would say no, and he would be massively against it. But who cares what he thinks?
I would be on board with it, Sean. 100%.
I just want to see it. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be the perfect fit.
Yeah, just growing up as a youngster, he was like the first real manager that you were like, was this guy? You know what I mean? When I was a young kid.
I'm a special one.
Yeah,
I love when he went knee sliding at Old Trafford and that when Porto beat him. Yeah, so I would love it. Yeah, I can't lie. Yeah, I would. Do you know what? Actually, as well, there was summer, and you came to my mind. Actually, Sean, I was walking the dog yesterday, and it was the Totally Football show, which is the Athletic, and they have like the top tier people on, and they were talking about Hösler and his ability to adapt in game, and they were saying that this is the real skill, adapting in game. And I started to think of Fark, and I was like, well, he doesn't. And do you know what they said? They went, "Can you think of any other managers that are really bad at it?" And the first man they all got David Moyes. And I just straight away went, "Get it up, you Sean Ely," and chuckled to myself. I swear to God, I'm walking the dog, and they went, "Yeah, David Moyes is known for being right bad at it." And I went, "You dickhead, Sean Ely." But yeah, Farkas poor at it as well, though. But yeah, he said the top managers, because they mentioned Iriola, Hösler, and said their way that they could change it in game.
The guys, the new ones coming through.
Yeah, obviously, really, Sean. I don't tell lies, bro. It was funny. I was just listening. It's Totally Football this week, so go listen to it. Or it might have been last week, so I can't remember. But yeah, when they said David Moyes, I just thought, I'm going to tell him that at some point, and then it just came back to my mind. So yeah, right, good stuff. I think we'll leave it there. Listen, go over and check Lockie's channel out, Lockie Leeds, please. Subscribe here and like the video, and yeah, that's it. I think we'll leave it there. Thanks everyone. I'm going to go watch Deadpool 2 now. I did watch Deadpool and Wolverine, but then I just enjoyed it that much. I'm going to watch them all again. So I've already watched Deadpool 1 today. They're all on Disney Plus, aren't they? So yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fun. I love it.
Yeah, he's so good, isn't he?
Stuff like that.
So
he's brilliant, man. So creative.
Yeah. Steven says, boys, we ain't going up. We'll bottle it again. I bet you we will. We'll win the league by 10 points, at least, is my genuine opinion. Yeah, my brothers have watched it, mate, and said it's unreal, so I need to check it out. I will do. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Anyway, we'll leave it there because we're just yapping now and I'm yawning. Peace out, folks. And I think I'm lagging.